Today I wanted to share with you guys my favorite vegetable to grow that I don't grow for the farm. I have grown it for the farm, but I no longer do. And the reason for that really just comes down to economics. It really just follows my 5 CVR, crop value rating principles. If you don't know what those are, please check them out. I've done a lot of videos on them. I'm over at our furthest plot in our farm network, and we actually don't even use this plot for the farm any longer. We changed it this year. Now we're going to be using this plot for a garden that's shared amongst a few of our friends, and we're going to share the work. But I'm just kind of finishing up some things that I had planted here throughout the season for the family, and I wanted to talk to you guys today about my favorite thing to grow that I don't grow for the farm, and that is bush beans. So I'm here harvesting these bush beans, and I just pull them out of the ground and pull clumps of them off as I harvest. That way my back is straight and I can stand up, and I just find it a lot easier to do. Now, this is a crop that I used to grow on the farm a number of years ago. I haven't grown this for probably 4 or 5 years, but the reason I don't grow it is because primarily it's very time consuming to harvest, but also the price per pound isn't that great. Now you can grow a higher value bean for restaurant markets. Say, let me see if I can find one here that would be a bean around this size would be suitable, and you can sell a bean like that for around $4 a pound. But at that price point and that size, the yield really goes down because you're spending a lot of time to harvest something that doesn't weigh very much. So that's the primary reason I don't grow them for the farm any longer. They're not a bad crop as far as days to maturity. You know, in the summertime, if you transplant them, they can be out of the ground in 60 days. So that's not bad. It's around the same as carrots. But again, it's the work and the time to harvest them is very, very time consuming. But I love to eat them, and I prefer to grow a nice sized bean like this for canning and pickling, and that's exactly what my wife and I are going to be doing today. So I'm just here listening to an audiobook and picking beans, and it's funny, I'm listening to the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and there's a part in it where he talks about how improving yourself is kind of like a farm, in the sense that you need to constantly have a succession. You have to constantly put things into practice in order to make them work. You can't just cram for a test and then do it all at one time and hope to get a yield. It's like a farm. You have to keep planting in order to have a constant succession. And I like that. I like these sort of truisms, and it's one thing that I really love about farming or just growing food, is the fact that it's so relatable to the world, and that you reap what you sow, what you put in is what you get out. I love that, and I think it's a great thing to teach kids, and one thing that I'm really hoping I can impart on my daughter as she grows. But yeah, I just thought I would share this with you guys. These beans were actually transplanted with the paper pot transplanter. So they go I go 6-inch centers, so that's 4 rows in a bed, and they're 6 inches apart. So I use the 6-inch chain pots to transplant these, and the yield is great. I mean, I've already harvested 1 tote so far that's about 30 pounds. I imagine, and I already harvested half of this bed a couple weeks ago. I think all in all I'll get about 80 to 100 pounds out of this. This is about a 40-foot bed, so it's a great yield. And if you're leaving them to get to this size especially, you're going to get a higher yield. Some bush bean varieties, you can actually, they're kind of cut and come again, like some greens. You can pick them and then you'll get a second picking. But I find the second picking is a lot less, and so if you're tight for land and you want to keep production going, it's generally speaking not worth the second pick. And this is why a lot of growers will do climbing beans. So this variety is called Jade. This one actually came from Johnny's, I believe, and it does have a really good yield, and I like the bean itself. It's a nice thick bean. It's really good for canning and preserving. And that's what we'll be doing with most of these. I love steamed green beans. It's one of my favorite summer dishes. But we are going to be pickling most of these because we're not going to be able to eat all of these in time for them to hold their shelf life. So we're going to be preserving them. So that's my video on beans. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Talk to you later.